The story begins with three middle-aged friends meeting at a restaurant for their annual gathering. As they drink and remember the exciting days of their youth, one of them happens to glance at a group of young thugs sitting nearby. The thugs immediately take offense and throw a bucket at him. His old fighting spirit suddenly returns, and within moments, he defeats several of them. However, when he turns around, he discovers that his friend Kim has already escaped because he is terrified of attracting trouble. Kim is no longer the fearless man he once was. After his wife died, he raised their daughter, Minji, entirely by himself. Minji is now in her second year of high school, while Kim remains an ordinary bank employee who spends every day moving between work and home. He avoids arguments, refuses to fight, and wants nothing more than to live quietly without causing trouble. Unfortunately, trouble refuses to leave him alone. One evening, while Kim is returning from work, a cigarette flicked by a thug strikes him outside his apartment. Kim notices the man's tattoos and threatening appearance, so he lowers his head and quietly walks away. But the incident does not end there. The thug later knocks Kim to the ground with his car. The moment Kim stands up, the man punches him without warning, openly taking advantage of someone he believes is weak. Even then, Kim does not fight back. He silently accepts the humiliation and returns home as though nothing happened. He prepares dinner and calls Minji to eat, but she is going through a rebellious stage and rejects almost every attempt he makes to care for her. Although they live beneath the same roof, the father and daughter barely communicate. What Kim does not know is that the daughter he has spent his entire life protecting is living through a nightmare at school. Three bullies led by Hye-ri torment Minji almost every day. They complain that her clothes smell like an old man, mock her for not having a mother, and deliberately scatter her books and stationery across the classroom. Minji sometimes tries to defend herself, but every act of resistance only leads to even crueler humiliation. With Minji's birthday approaching, Kim remembers being attacked outside his apartment and begins worrying that his daughter may one day encounter someone dangerous. He initially considers buying her a self-defense item as a birthday present. However, his female co-worker, Sang, tells him that a teenage girl would probably prefer fashionable clothing. Following her recommendation, Kim reluctantly buys a top costing 500,000 Korean won. The price nearly destroys him, but he still takes it home and carefully hides it inside a drawer. Kim then enters the laundry room, hoping to have a conversation with his daughter. Instead, Minji coldly tells him that from now on, they should wash their clothes separately because she does not want her clothes absorbing the smell of an old man. Her words cut deeply into Kim's heart. He says nothing and quietly walks away. Minji does not truly hate her father. She simply has nowhere else to release the pain and anger caused by the bullying, so she directs everything toward the one person she knows will never abandon her. The following morning, Kim is surprised to discover that Minji washed all the dirty dishes that had been left in the kitchen. It is a very small gesture, but it immediately eases some of the pain caused by her words. At school, Minji prepares for physical education class and discovers that Hye-ri and her friends threw her sports uniform into the trash. With no other choice, she begins walking toward the gym in her regular school uniform. On the way, she meets Nam, the boy she secretly likes. After hearing what happened, Nam lends her his sports jacket. The simple act of kindness fills Minji's heart with excitement. Unfortunately, Hye-ri sees everything. Hye-ri likes Nam as well and has already decided that he belongs to her. Seeing him help Minji immediately awakens her jealousy. Meanwhile, Kim attends the annual gathering with his two old friends, Jong and Master Han. All three men were once impressive figures in their youth. Although they now appear to be ordinary middle-aged men, they still have endless stories to share whenever they meet. Jong proudly shows off a picture of his daughter printed on his shirt. At that moment, several thugs at the next table begin attacking the restaurant owner. Jong becomes furious and wants to intervene, but Kim and Master Han pull him away before he can cause trouble. The thugs refuse to let them leave peacefully and pour an entire pot of hot tea over Jong. He somehow controls his anger and continues walking away. However, one of the men notices the picture of Jong's daughter and makes a disgusting comment about her. That single insult destroys Jong's remaining self-control. He charges into the group alone and beats the thugs until they can barely stand. Master Han asks Kim whether they should help him, but Kim pretends not to see anything and quietly leaves the restaurant. In the end, the police arrive and use a stun gun to stop the completely enraged Jong. Back at school, Minji returns Nam's jacket. The two smile and talk together, unaware that Hye-ri is watching them again. After school, Hye-ri drags Minji into a storage room and immediately slaps her twice. Minji desperately explains that she was only returning the jacket because someone threw her sports uniform into the trash. Hye-ri refuses to listen. She kicks Minji to the ground and claims that she is not angry because of Nam. She says she is angry because of the disgusting smell coming from Minji. Hyeri then mocks Minji's dead mother. Minji's mother died while giving birth to her, making the subject the deepest wound in her heart. The moment Hyeri insults her mother, Minji finally explodes. She tackles Hyeri to the ground and repeatedly punches her. Kim soon receives a call from the school. The teachers repeatedly warn him that Hyeri's father is Chairman Jo, the head of a powerful construction group. They explain that if the matter is handled badly, no one at the school will be able to control the consequences. When Kim arrives, Minji tearfully explains that Hyeri has bullied her for a long time and that today was the first time she fought back. She hopes her father will finally stand beside her and protect her. Instead, Kim offers no explanation. He kneels before Hyeri's parents, bows his head, and begs for forgiveness. He asks them to show mercy because they are both parents with daughters and promises to transfer Minji to another school immediately. Chairman Jo pretends to be generous and says that because Minji grew up without a mother, he will forgive her this one time. However, after Kim and Minji leave, he orders his men to investigate Kim's identity. When Chairman Jo learns that Kim is supposedly nothing more than an ordinary bank employee, his face fills with contempt. He also warns the principal never to allow anything like this to happen to his daughter again. Minji is devastated. Her father is the only family she has left, yet he chose to kneel before the people who abused her. She feels as though he bowed not only to Hyeri's family, but to the entire world. She tells Kim that she will spend the night at a classmate's house and walks away alone. Before reaching her friend's home, she receives a message from Nam asking her to meet him behind the school that night. At the same time, Kim visits his wife's grave and speaks to her about how difficult the past years have been. He admits that he no longer knows how to communicate with their daughter or how to protect her without losing her trust. By midnight, Kim can no longer control his worry. He calls Minji, but her phone is turned off. When it remains unreachable the following morning, he contacts the classmate whose house she claims she would visit. The girl shocks him by saying Minji never arrived. An immediate sense of dread overwhelms Kim. He rushes to the school and learns that Minji has not attended class. At that moment, Nam appears with injuries on his face. He explains that thugs attacked him, stole his phone, and used it to send Minji the message directing her behind the school. Kim races to the meeting place. He finds a large pool of blood and a hair tie lying on the ground. He recognizes it as the same accessory Hyeri was wearing when he visited the school the previous day. Before long, Hyeri returns to the scene with one of the young thugs, apparently hoping to remove evidence. Kim picks up the hair tie and demands to know where Minji is. The thug becomes irritated and throws a punch, but Kim effortlessly avoids it. Kim keeps his eyes fixed on Hyeri and repeats his question. The embarrassed thug removes his shirt, revealing tattoos across his body. At first, they look down on him because they believe he is the same weak man who knelt before Hyeri's father. The thug moves forward to attack him and grabs his clothes. When the thug tears Kim's shirt, both he and Hyeri are stunned by the countless scars covering his body. The marks make it obvious that Kim is not an ordinary bank employee. They witness his true nature. Moments later, when he grabs the thug and beats him mercilessly, Kim is seconds away from killing him, repeatedly demanding only one thing: "Where is my daughter?" To understand how Kim became such a dangerous man, the story takes us back to 2008. At that time, numerous South Korean intelligence agents were being targeted by a powerful hardline minister in North Korea. South Korean intelligence therefore decided to eliminate him, choosing Kim to carry out what appeared to be a suicide mission. We discover that Kim was originally from North Korea and served there as an elite officer. He successfully completes the operation, killing the minister in a massive explosion that supposedly takes his life as well. The news reports describe him as a North Korean officer who was corrupted by foreign nations and betrayed his country by assassinating one of its patriotic leaders. However, Kim secretly survives. He immediately rushes to a hospital in South Korea, where his wife is giving birth to their daughter, Minji. This reveals that he staged his death because he had already started a family and wanted to escape his former life. Tragically, Kim's wife dies during childbirth. Before passing away, she places Minji in his care and asks him to forget everything about his violent past. She wants him to live only for their daughter from that moment onward. Kim promises to honor her final wish. However, despite previously assuring him that this would be his last mission, South Korean officials still attempt to use him for more operations. Kim finally threatens them with information powerful enough to endanger their president, forcing them to grant him his freedom. From then on, Kim begins living as an ordinary South Korean citizen, someone so quiet and unremarkable that no one would ever suspect his past. He dedicates his entire life to raising Minji alone. Although caring for her without his wife is incredibly difficult, every hardship becomes bearable whenever his daughter looks at him and calls him dad. However, that freedom came with a condition. South Korean intelligence would continue monitoring him, and the moment he revealed his true abilities, his peaceful life would end. That is why Kim has spent years accepting insults, attacks, and humiliation without resisting. But now his only daughter is missing. Every rule he followed suddenly becomes meaningless. Kim slowly lifts his head, and every trace of weakness disappears from his eyes. In the next moment, he beats the thug until the man's face is covered in blood. Kim grips him by the throat and asks about Minji in a voice so cold that both Hye-ri and the thug become terrified. Desperate to survive, the thug confesses everything that happened the night before. Even after Kim knelt publicly and promised to transfer Minji, Hye-ri refused to let the matter go. She believed that Minji's decision to fight back was an unforgivable challenge to her authority and decided to teach her a lesson. Following Hye-ri's instructions, the thugs kidnapped Nam and beat him. They used his phone to invite Minji behind the school. Believing Nam wanted to meet her, Minji arrived alone and discovered Hye-ri, her two friends, and a large group of young criminals surrounding her. This time, Minji refused to remain passive. She declared that she would never become as submissive as her father and fought back. She wrestled Hye-ri to the ground, humiliating her in front of everyone. Hye-ri completely lost control. She picked up a brick and struck Minji across the head. Minji immediately collapsed as blood spread across the ground. Several students panicked, and one wanted to call an ambulance. The thugs were afraid of being held responsible, so they confiscated everyone's phones. They then contacted a criminal named Woo from the Goldtooth gang and asked him to dispose of what they believed was Minji's body. Hye-ri openly stated that her father was Chairman Joe of the construction group and promised that money would not be a problem. The leader of the Goldtooth gang became interested the moment he heard Chairman Joe's name and ordered Woo to accept the job. His men arrived, placed Minji inside the trunk of a car, and drove away. During the journey, Goldtooth secretly activated his phone's recording function. He manipulated Hye-ri into admitting that she struck Minji, creating evidence he could later use against Chairman Joe. After hearing the confession, Kim rushes home. He opens the deepest section of a hidden cabinet and removes a combat equipment bag that has remained untouched for years. He soon arrives at the Goldtooth gang's building with a terrifying calmness. He effortlessly defeats the criminals who rush toward him. When he sees a black market doctor preparing to remove a young captive woman's organs, he picks up an axe and throws it with perfect accuracy, stopping the operation. Woo and the other criminals hear the commotion and attempt to escape. Woo jumps through a window but runs directly into an almost invisible net of razor-sharp wire prepared by Kim. Kim captures him and repeatedly forces his head beneath the water while demanding his daughter's location. Woo arrogantly mocks him, claiming that his punches feel weak and feminine. Kim silently removes a coin and crushes it between his fingers. He then takes a gun from his equipment bag and shoots Woo in the thigh. Kim calmly warns that the only reason Woo is still alive is because he continues believing Minji may be alive.
I'm only letting you live because I think my daughter's alive.
At that moment, Woo receives a message from Goldtooth. Kim grabs the phone and attempts to start a voice call. However, Goldtooth immediately becomes suspicious because Woo has never contacted him first. He orders his men to delete the entire conversation and destroy the phone. Kim has time to read only the final message, which says that the girl's body has already been handled. Those words: destroy him. After enduring everything for so many years, he still failed to protect Minji. Kim's eyes fill with tears and rage. He points the gun at Woo and orders him to find a way to contact Goldtooth. Before Woo can do anything, the police storm the building and arrest the completely unstable Kim. Meanwhile, Jong and Master Han are also detained because of the restaurant fight. The greater problem is that someone recorded Jong beating the thugs and uploaded the video online. The footage spreads rapidly and eventually reaches North Korea's intelligence authorities. Jong is not the person who alarms them. Their attention is drawn to Kim, whose face appears briefly in the corner of the video. Senior North Korean officials immediately hold an emergency meeting. They believed Kim died long ago. To them, he is not simply a former operative who escaped. He is a traitor who joined South Korea and must be eliminated. Director Lee orders the agency's most capable assassin to infiltrate South Korea and kill him. At the same time, the South Korean intelligence service, which has continuously monitored Kim, notices the video. Director Kong is informed that Jong once completed numerous infiltration missions with Kim in North Korea. Because Jong's fight was recorded, Kim's location may now be exposed. Director Kang knows that someone as dangerous and valuable as Kim cannot be allowed to fall into North Korean hands. South Korean intelligence must find him before anyone else does. The North Korean assassin enters South Korea illegally. After learning that Jong is being held at a police station, he infiltrates the building. He takes a police officer hostage inside the bathroom, steals his uniform, and uses the excuse of delivering food to enter Jong's cell. He points a gun at Jong and demands Kim's home address. Jong fears that innocent officers may be harmed, so he gives him the location. When the assassin promises to give Kim a quick death, Jong coldly warns that searching for number 66 will only lead to his own destruction. After the assassin leaves, Jong begins planning his escape. He suddenly punches an officer and then loudly cries for help as though he were the victim. When other officers rush inside, he uses the confusion to flee the station. Elsewhere, Goldtooth edits the recording of Hyeri asking him to dispose of Minji. He is already preparing his next move. One of his men asks why he does not simply use the recording to blackmail Chairman Joe immediately. Goldtooth understands that Chairman Joe is not an ordinary businessman. He began as a violent gang enforcer and gradually seized control of the construction company until he became its chairman. Goldtooth has personally witnessed Chairman Joe forcing people to kneel on broken glass. Fighting a man like him is the same as placing one's head inside a tiger's mouth. One mistake would lead to immediate death. After editing the recording, Goldtooth walks outside and opens the trunk containing Minji. A powerful smell of blood emerges. He becomes annoyed and orders his men to find plastic sheeting to cover what they believe is her corpse. None of them notices Minji's fingers moving slightly. Kim, now inside police custody, has no idea that she is still alive. He refuses to answer every question. The officers eventually collect his fingerprints and upload them to the system, hoping to confirm his identity. The screen immediately displays a warning that they do not have sufficient clearance to view his records. While the officers are trying to understand why his information is classified, Kim's phone begins ringing. One policeman reads Minji's name from the screen. Kim reacts instantly. He breaks out of his handcuffs, rushes across the room, and snatches the phone away. However, the call ends, and Minji's device is switched off again. The only possible clue to his daughter disappears. Kim refuses to remain in custody. He escapes the police station and heads toward the one friend who may be able to track Minji's phone. Director Kong and the South Korean intelligence service are also following Kim's movement. Unknown to him, two members of the surveillance team have spent years living close to him. One is the owner of the laundry shop beneath his apartment, while the other is Sang, his apparently ordinary bank co-worker. At the same time, the North Korean assassin reaches Kim's home. Kim is not there, but Jong is waiting for him. The fight begins immediately. As the assassin fires repeatedly, Jong grabs a frying pan and uses it as a shield. The gunfight quickly becomes close combat, and Jong throws the assassin across the room. Realizing that he is losing, the assassin jumps over the wall and escapes. Jong attempts to chase him, but his aging back fails him, allowing the younger man to get away. Once both men leave, the laundry shop owner emerges from behind the curtains. He secretly reports everything to Director Kang. Using Kim's phone location, Director Kang discovers that he has gone to a taekwondo school. He quickly checks the owner's records. Master Han is not an ordinary martial arts instructor. He won an Olympic gold medal in taekwondo and was later specially recruited by the intelligence service. He completed numerous infiltration missions in the north alongside Kim and Jong. Kim tells Master Han that Minji has disappeared and asks to use his command vehicle to track her phone. Before they can leave, Director Kong arrives with agents and takes one of the children attending the class hostage, ordering Kim and Master Han to surrender. Fortunately, the child is clever enough to bite Director Kang and run away. Kim and Master Han take this as their signal to attack. Working together with perfect coordination, they defeat the director and his men. They escape the school and block the main entrance behind them. The chase moves to the roof. Kim holds off the pursuing agents while Master Han fires at them and secures an escape rope. The two slide down the side of the building and enter Master Han's command vehicle. Master Han activates his tracking equipment and locates Minji's phone. At that moment, Jong calls. He initially believes the North Korean assassin is Kim's only problem. When he learns Minji is missing, he releases a long stream of furious curses and promises to join them immediately. None of them realizes that several different groups are now searching for Minji. Kim and his friends want to rescue her. Chairman Joe wants to erase evidence connected to Hyeri. The North Korean assassin is also following the same clues because he believes they will lead him to Kim. Hyeri has stopped attending school and remains locked inside her room. Chairman Joe notices that something is wrong and orders his men to hack her phone. Through her messages, they identify the young thug who helped her attack Minji and force him to explain what happened. Chairman Joe's men report that Minji is missing and that her father attacked the thugs. According to the witnesses, Kim's body is covered in scars and gunshot wounds. He is clearly not an ordinary bank employee. Even more suspiciously, their systems cannot locate him or access his background. Chairman Joe cannot understand why a man described as a terrifying killer willingly knelt before him at the school. The North Korean assassin also continues investigating Minji. A male student tells him that she has stopped attending school and that her supposed friend may know where she is because they shared their locations through an application. The assassin finds the girl pretending to be sick in the school clinic. He grabs her phone and accesses Minji's location information. Kim and Master Han reach the location connected to Minji's device and discover a building filled with young criminals. Kim has no interest in wasting time on the lower-ranking men. He demands to know who their leader is and forces one of them to guide him into the inner room. Master Han remains outside, fighting a massive crowd alone. A guard outside the leader's room arrogantly claims he is different from the weak men outside and promises to destroy Kim's eyes and eardrums. Kim does not allow him to finish his performance. One kick strikes the man directly in the face and sends him to the floor. Inside the room are hundreds of mobile phones. The criminals are operating a telecommunications fraud network. Kim scans the room and suddenly notices Minji's phone inside the red-haired leader's pocket. The new phone charm attached to it is the same gift Kim personally gave his daughter. Seeing her phone in the possession of such men causes Kim to lose control. He defeats everyone inside and demands to know where the device came from. The leader responds with vulgar comments about Minji and the private photographs he hoped to find on the phone. Kim beats him until his face is swollen beyond recognition and drags him toward the stairs, preparing to throw him over the edge. Master Han stops him at the last moment. He understands that guilt and rage are consuming Kim, but reminds him that killing the man will not help them find Minji. Realizing he may survive, the leader immediately confesses that he never met Minji and does not know who she is. His men bought the phone from a homeless man. He explains that he only searched through it because he hoped to find attractive photographs. While exploring the device, he accidentally called Kim, panicked, ended the call, and switched off the phone. Kim then notices something he had never properly considered. Apart from her father, Minji has almost no one in her call history. Even the girl she calls her closest friend is not truly a friend. Her messages consist mostly of requests for money or demands that Minji buy things for her. She has simply been using Minji. Tears run down Kim's face as he finally realizes how isolated his daughter has been. She had no genuine friends and endured bullying every day. When she needed him to protect her, he knelt before the people abusing her and begged for their forgiveness. His heart feels as though it is being torn apart. He is ashamed that he failed to honor his wife's final request and convinced that he has failed as a father. Master Han tells him to control his emotions. The only way Kim can properly apologize is by finding Minji alive. Master Han continues questioning the red-haired leader and obtains the location where the homeless man found the phone. Before they can leave, the North Korean assassin appears behind Kim and presses a gun to his head. He pulls the trigger, but Master Han kicks the weapon away at the last moment. Both men dive behind cover while the assassin recovers the gun. The laundry shop owner and Sang suddenly arrive, aiming their weapons at the assassin. They then turn their guns toward Kim because he violated his agreement with the intelligence service. Kim does not resist. He asks only for enough time to find Minji and promises to surrender the moment he confirms that she is safe. Having lived close to him for years, Sang and the laundry shop owner cannot bring themselves to shoot. They allow Kim and Master Han to leave. The moment their attention shifts, the North Korean assassin attacks. He shoots the laundry shop owner and wounds Sang before continuing the pursuit. Sang crawls toward her fallen partner, believing he has been killed. The laundry shop owner suddenly sits upright and proudly taps the bulletproof vest hidden beneath his clothes, revealing that he prepared in advance. Kim is not as fortunate. He is shot during the confrontation. Master Han wants to take him to a hospital, but Kim applies a basic bandage and orders him to continue driving. Master Han turns to examine the injury. When he looks forward again, Jong is standing in the middle of the road, waving excitedly. The three friends locate the homeless man near a subway entrance and ask where he found the phone. He remembers seeing an overweight man with a small braid step out of a white car and throw the device into a trash bin. He retrieved it and later sold it for money to buy alcohol. Master Han accesses surveillance footage from the subway entrance. Using the time described by the homeless man, he identifies the braided man, obtains his personal information, and discovers the white car's registration number. Meanwhile, Goldtooth imagines using Hyeri's confession to force Chairman Joe to kneel before him. One of his men casually places a potato in his bowl and asks whether he has some personal history with Chairman Joe. The sight of the potato causes Goldtooth to become violently enraged. He attacks the man because potatoes have become the symbol of the worst humiliation of his life. Years earlier, Chairman Joe wanted to continue a redevelopment project, but residents refused to leave their neighborhood. Chairman Joe ordered the gang leader of that time to throw Goldtooth from the roof of a building. He then publicly claimed that a cleaner accidentally fell because the structure was unsafe, using the incident as justification to demolish the area. Goldtooth somehow survived. After recovering, he killed his former boss and seized control of the gang. He later gathered his men and attacked Chairman Joe, hoping for revenge. However, the difference between their power was enormous. Chairman Joe and his people defeated him easily. To completely destroy his dignity, Chairman Joe ordered his men to force an entire pot of freshly steamed potatoes into Goldtooth's mouth. They then pulled out his teeth one by one. Goldtooth had no choice but to behave like a dog and beg for his life. The humiliation has haunted him ever since. Now, after years of submission, he believes Minji's supposed corpse is the perfect weapon against Chairman Joe. He orders his men to move her into a refrigerated storage facility while he prepares his blackmail plan. He does not know that Minji is alive. Inside the freezer, she gradually regains consciousness and struggles out of the bag. She searches desperately for an exit, but the door is locked. No matter how loudly she pounds against it or calls for help, no one responds. Goldtooth initially orders one of his men to photograph Minji's body so he can send proof to Chairman Joe. Concerned that the man may make a mistake, he decides to take the photograph himself. Before entering the freezer, he sends Chairman Joe the recording of Hye-ri's confession and demands a personal meeting. At Chairman Joe's home, the chairman directly asks Hye-ri whether she killed someone. She initially tries to deny everything, but his relentless questions force her to admit that she struck Minji. Chairman Joe slaps her for failing to tell him immediately and for asking Goldtooth to dispose of the body. In the next moment, he pulls Hye-ri into his arms and promises that no matter what she has done, he will protect her. After he leaves, the fear disappears from Hye-ri's face. She clearly knew from the beginning that her father would clean up the crime for her. Goldtooth enters the refrigerated storage room. Hearing his footsteps, Minji hides. He slowly approaches her hiding place while she curls into herself and trembles. Just before he discovers her, Chairman Joe calls. Goldtooth stops searching and steps outside to answer. To avenge his old humiliation, Goldtooth demands that Chairman Joe personally pull out Jin's teeth and then bring Jin to the meeting. Jin was the man who physically removed Goldtooth's teeth years earlier. After sending his location, Goldtooth confidently waits for Chairman Joe to arrive. Chairman Joe despises being threatened. He orders Jin to place the entire blame for Minji's supposed murder on Goldtooth. He then gathers a large force and prepares to confront him. At the same time, Kim, Master Han, and Jong are moments away from locating the white vehicle. The tracking process reaches 95%. Director Kang has been waiting on a bridge. He presses a detonator, causing Master Han's command vehicle to explode. Fortunately, the vehicle was constructed with protective materials. Although the blast violently shakes everyone inside, the tracking equipment continues operating. Kim ignores the damaged vehicle and keeps his eyes fixed on the screen until the process reaches 100% and reveals the white car's location. Director Kang shouts from the bridge, demanding that Kim come out. Master Han emerges first. Already furious with the director, he launches himself into the air as Director Kang fires and attempts a spinning kick. The kick misses, but it draws every agent's attention and gives Kim time to escape. When Song, the laundry shop owner, and additional intelligence officers arrive, Master Han charges again and knocks Director Kong toward the edge of the bridge. To escape the agents, he signals to Jong and voluntarily jumps into the river. Jong watches him disappear into the water, walks toward the agents, and raises his hands in surrender. Kim speeds toward the port connected to the white car. He immediately recognizes the vehicle and storms into the only office in the area. He displays Minji's photograph and demands her location. Two gang members attempt to attack him together, but he beats both of them until blood covers the floor. At the freezer, Goldtooth hears a small sound behind him. He realizes the door was not fully closed when he stepped outside and turns around. His eyes meet Minji's. He cannot understand how the girl he believed was dead is standing in front of him. Minji runs back inside and slams the door. Goldtooth lunges after her, but she locks him outside before he can enter. Unable to open it, he calls his men and orders them to bring the key. He does not know that Kim has already beaten them. One of the injured gang members asks whether Kim works for Chairman Joe. When Kim appears confused, the man admits that Minji is inside the freezer. He claims they did not kill her and were only asked to dispose of what they believed was a body. The word body fills Kim with murderous rage. He warns that if Minji is dead, every person there will die with her. After dealing with the man, Kim pursues another gangster who is escaping in a car. Instead of stopping him immediately, Kim repeatedly allows him to believe he is getting away before crashing into him again, hunting him like a cat tormenting a mouse. Once the car is completely destroyed, Kim drags the terrified man out and orders him to lead the way to the freezer. Before they can reach it, a large group of gang members surrounds them. Kim locks his prisoner inside a shipping container and tells everyone to attack together because he does not have time to waste. Several minutes later, he opens the container again. The prisoner looks outside and discovers that every gang member who surrounded Kim is lying unconscious across the ground. Terrified beyond reason, he points toward the freezer. Before he can guide Kim farther, a speeding car strikes both men. The driver is the North Korean assassin number 76. Kim and number 76 immediately begin fighting. Kim knocks him down several times, but number 76 continues rising because he has only one purpose: avenging his older brother, the original number 66. When Kim finally traps him in a chokehold, he suddenly calls number 76 by his real name. As a child, Kim saw number 66 saying goodbye to his younger brother and never forgot the boy's name. Kim releases him and explains that he did not kill number 66. The two were once rivals in the training camp, but they later became brothers who repeatedly risked their lives for one another. During their final mission, an explosion destroyed one of number 66's legs. Knowing he would not survive, he ordered Kim to escape alone. Kim refused and even raised his gun, prepared to die beside his friend. Number 66 used his final strength to stop him and demanded that he survive. To fulfill that final request, Kim stopped resisting and allowed South Korean intelligence to capture him. Only afterward did he discover that the entire operation was a trap. Director Lee, who was not yet the head of North Korean intelligence, leaked the mission to South Korea. He sacrificed every operative involved so the failure would destroy his superior's career, allowing him to take the position himself. Kim repeats the final words number 66 spoke. Number 76 remembers hearing his brother say the same thing when they separated as children. He finally believes that Kim was not responsible for his death. Elsewhere, Jeong, who only pretended to surrender, escapes from the agents transporting him. Using the wind and the river's current, he predicts where Master Han will reach the shore and waits there. Master Han eventually appears while dragging the nearly drowned Director Kang, who apparently cannot swim. The two friends know the director will continue pursuing them, so they decide to leave separately. Jeong never accepts a loss without finding some profit. He steals an intelligence vehicle and phone, uses Director Kang's bank card until it reaches its limit, and buys a vehicle full of weapons and supplies. Inside the freezer, Minji remembers her life with her father. She regrets every cruel thing she said to him and refuses to remain helpless. When one of Goldtooth's injured men crawls back to report what happened, Minji quietly opens the freezer door. Goldtooth sees the open entrance and walks inside with a knife. Minji rushes past him, strikes the injured gangster with a metal object, and begins searching for an exit. At that moment, Jin arrives with Chairman Zhou's men. Minji hides inside a nearby warehouse. Kim finally reaches the freezer and searches frantically. At first, he finds only frozen bodies. He believes Minji may be among them and falls into complete despair. Then he notices a message written in the frost. He recognizes Minji's handwriting and immediately understands that she is alive. Kim runs outside, climbs over the shipping containers, and searches the area. He finally sees Minji climbing over the outer wall toward the road. He screams her name, but the heavy rain swallows his voice. Minji does not hear him and disappears beyond the wall. Kim jumps down and runs after her. Jin finds Goldtooth. Remembering how he personally removed Goldtooth's teeth years earlier, he is furious that the gangster dared to threaten Chairman Zhou. He orders his men to remove Goldtooth's newly fitted golden teeth one by one. Covered in blood, Goldtooth finally admits that Minji is alive. He laughs and warns Jin that the girl's father is a genuine monster. Jin takes his men and continues searching, leaving one man behind to finish Goldtooth. Goldtooth launches one final desperate attack and repeatedly stabs the man. Minji reaches the road and desperately waves at passing cars. None of them stops. Just as she begins losing hope, one vehicle slows down. Believing she has finally been rescued, Minji enters and closes her eyes against the seat. After failing to catch up with her, Kim contacts Sang and the laundry shop owner. He asks them to check surveillance footage and promises to surrender as soon as Minji is found. They report the request to Director Kang and ask him to help the desperate father one final time. Director Kang sees a different opportunity. Since Minji is Kim's only weakness, he plans to find her before anyone else and use her as leverage. The surveillance system identifies the vehicle she entered. No one initially realizes that it belongs to Chairman Zhou. Chairman Zhou sits in the back of the car and smiles at the girl who unknowingly delivered herself into his hands. With Minji as his prisoner, he can protect Haya-ri from the murder accusation and force the mysterious father who humiliated him to reveal himself. When Director Kang learns that Minji has been taken to Chairman Zhou's home, he launches an immediate raid. Before the operation begins, Song secretly sends Kim a message, revealing that Minji entered Chairman Zhou's car. Master Han also arrives to help, and he and Kim head toward the property together. Chairman Joe allows Minji to bathe and change her clothes before questioning her. Minji cleverly hides the details connecting Hye-ri to the attack. She claims that she was assaulted after leaving the principal's office and woke inside the freezer. She never mentions Hye-ri. Chairman Joe sees through her story. He also knows that she pretended to sleep after entering his vehicle. When Minji first got inside, she did not notice Chairman Joe sitting in the back. Then she heard him remark that his daughter's enemy had delivered herself directly to him. Realizing she had escaped one danger only to enter another, Minji kept her eyes closed and continued pretending to be unconscious. Now she behaves like an innocent child and thanks Chairman Joe for rescuing her despite the conflict with Hye-ri. She asks to borrow a phone so she can call her father. Chairman Joe refuses and announces that he intends to kill her. Minji runs, but guards at the door capture her. Chairman Joe approaches with a syringe and explains that Hye-ri is his most precious possession. No matter what crime his daughter commits, he will hide it for her. Before he can inject Minji, Director Kang and his agents break through the entrance. Chairman Joe orders his men to lock Minji in the basement while he deals with the intruders. Director Kang commands the agents to search the property and demands that Chairman Joe surrender the girl. However, Jin defeats every agent who attempts to enter the basement. Director Kang then receives a call from the deputy minister, who furiously condemns him for invading a civilian's home without legal authority. Despite his anger, Director Kang is ordered to withdraw. Kim and Master Han are watching from outside. They notice Sang and the laundry shop owner moving independently and realize Director Kang may have arranged a hidden plan. Kim and Master Han decide to separate. Director Kang later drives to an isolated location and meets Sang. Minji steps out of her vehicle. The public raid was merely a distraction. While Director Kang openly searched the house, Sang and the laundry shop owner secretly entered the basement, defeated the guards, and rescued Minji. She is stunned to discover that the harmless laundry shop owner is actually Agent Choi, an intelligence operative. Before she can ask questions, Director Kang places her inside his car and takes her to headquarters. Agent Choi is uncomfortable with the plan to use Minji against Kim, but he cannot openly disobey his superior. They do not realize Kim has followed them. He silently catches the agent protecting the rear of the convoy with a steel wire. When two others leave their vehicle to investigate, Kim covers one man's mouth, steals his weapon, and shoots the other in the leg. He forces them to reveal that Minji is being taken to intelligence headquarters. Kim steals their vehicle and uses its radio to warn Director Kang that if anyone harms even a single hair on Minji's head, he will kill everyone involved. Director Kang does not believe Kim will surrender after finding his daughter. Once they reach headquarters, he locks Minji inside an interrogation room and deploys the tactical action team.
Are we going to war or something? Agent Kim said he'd surrender as soon as he found his daughter.
However, Kim and his friends are already preparing two surprises. Jung returns to an old weapons storage location and collects a large amount of advanced equipment. Master Han clings beneath an intelligence vehicle and rides it all the way inside headquarters. He captures a security guard, takes his access card, and enters the building. Master Han locates the electrical control room and memorizes the emergency evacuation map. After what he jokingly considers a friendly negotiation, he ties up a cleaning woman and enters the ventilation system. Inside the power room, he attaches one end of a thin string to a bottle of water and places the other end over the electrical switch. He loosens the cap so the water will slowly travel down the string. The timing is deliberate. After he rescues Minji, the water will reach the electrical system, cause a short circuit, and plunge the entire building into darkness. Director Kang questions Minji in the surveillance room. He tells her that Kim is a North Korean spy. For more than a decade, Kim lived quietly without causing problems, but he has suddenly returned to action and attracted North Korea's attention. Director Kang wants to understand what could push someone like Kim this far. Minji explains the fight with Hye-ri and the retaliation that followed. Director Kang begins laughing in disbelief. He cannot believe a former killer responsible for so many violent operations returned to action because of a school fight between two teenage girls. Minji is equally stunned. The quiet, submissive father she always considered weak was secretly a dangerous intelligence operative. Before the interrogation can continue, Director Kang learns that the deputy minister has arrived. He orders his men to hide Minji inside an isolation room. The deputy minister confronts Director Kang over the illegal raid and demands that Minji be released. Director Kang accuses him of accepting benefits from Chairman Joe and protecting a criminal. He warns that Kim is tearing the country apart while searching for Minji. If the deputy minister hands her to Chairman Joe, both of them will die. According to director Kang, the safest choice is to do nothing until he captures Kim. Inside the isolation room, Minji hears someone calling her from above. She looks up and sees Master Han opening a ventilation cover. He pulls her inside and they crawl through the ducts. At that moment, the water reaches the electrical system. The building loses power, and alarms echo through every corridor. Master Han brings Minji down into the parking level. The moment they land, Director Kang and a large tactical force appear. He predicted their escape route and has been waiting for them. Master Han tells Minji to run toward the emergency exit when he counts to 3. He protects her with flash grenades, smoke grenades, and widespread gunfire. The parking area fills with smoke and chaos. However, Director Kang notices that no one has been injured. Master Han has been firing blanks. Director Kang orders his men to return fire with real ammunition. Master Han and Minji take cover behind vehicles as bullets rain around them. When the tactical team surrounds them, Master Han raises a white cloth and pretends to surrender. Suddenly, the deputy minister screams for everyone to stop. A thin steel cable is wrapped around his neck. He moves like a puppet while the person holding the other end controls whether he lives or dies. Kim is standing high above them. After overcoming countless obstacles, he finally sees his daughter. Kim uses the deputy minister's life to order Director Kang and the tactical team to lower their weapons. Director Kang has become so obsessed that he commands them to shoot even if the deputy minister dies. The tactical commander refuses to sacrifice a senior government official and orders the entire unit to stand down. Director Kang attempts to fire by himself, but Jong appears with a machine gun and fires several real rounds into the wall, warning him not to test his patience. Jong hands the machine gun to Master Han, returns to his vehicle and removes what appears to be a landmine. He places it on the ground and claims it is activated by sound and movement. According to him, moving even one finger will cause an immediate explosion. Anyone willing to die is welcome to test it. While everyone remains frozen, Minji runs behind Kim and embraces him tightly. Father and daughter are finally reunited. Because Jong's vehicle has been badly damaged, they force the tactical commander to surrender his keys. Jong holds what he claims is the mine's remote control and orders every agent to raise their hands. Kim and his friends place Minji inside the vehicle. As they drive through the gate, they release the deputy minister and throw him outside. Once they are safe, Kim asked Jong to drive to a restaurant. Minji has not eaten properly for days, and his first concern is feeding her. Kim apologizes for failing to understand the pain she was experiencing. Minji throws herself into his arms and cries, regretting all the cruel words she said to him. The four enter a restaurant together, finally smiling. They do not know that Jin has been secretly watching them. Chairman Joe calls and orders him to capture both Kim and Minji. He wants to discover the real identity of the man who once knelt before him. After eating, the group drives away while laughing together. Several cargo trucks suddenly surround them. Trained attackers emerge, lift their entire car, and pull it inside a transport container. Kim comforts Minji and tells her not to be afraid. Master Han warns Jong not to do anything reckless. Jong decides that this is the perfect moment for a hero to make an entrance and loudly challenges whoever is responsible. Before he can finish, he smells sleeping gas filling the container. Jong boasts that he once stayed awake for an entire month and claims the gas cannot affect him. A moment later, he desperately pounds on the window and begs Master Han to open the roof so he can climb back inside the car. After the vehicle becomes silent, Jin assumes everyone is unconscious. He orders his men to capture Kim and Minji and kill Master Han and Jong. The container doors open, and Master Han suddenly accelerates. Their car shoots out of the truck. Jin gathers a large group of men to surround Kim and Master Han while he climbs back into the cargo truck to take Minji. Jong, who appeared unconscious, suddenly sits up. He moves Minji to a safe place and confronts Jin. Outside, Kim and Master Han fight the attackers. Kim notices the cargo truck carrying Minji begin moving. He leaves the remaining enemies to Master Han and runs toward a nearby hillside. Calculating the truck's speed and direction, he leaps from the slope and lands perfectly on its roof. Kim crawls toward the driver's cabin, throws the driver out, and takes control of the vehicle. Inside, Jong gives Jin no opportunity to recover. When Jin attempts to fight back, Jong bites his wrist and beats him until the once arrogant enforcer begs for mercy. Kim drives the truck back to collect Master Han, who has already defeated every attacker. The three carry Minji back into their car and escape. Instead of returning home, Kim drives directly to Chairman Joe's residence. He defeats the security guards and forces his way into the chairman's room. Even then, Chairman Joe does not understand the danger. He insults Kim for failing to protect his own daughter and offers him a salary of 100 million Korean won every month to become his personal servant. Kim looks at the completely immoral man before him and strikes him without hesitation. Chairman Joe pulls a knife from a drawer and attacks. His movements appear childish compared with Kim's experience. Kim takes the weapon and beats him until he can barely move. Chairman Joe finally recognizes the difference between them and crawls out of the room. Kim follows silently like death itself. Chairman Joe falls down the stairs. Just as Kim prepares to deliver the final blow, Minji calls out to him. She does not want her father's hands covered in more blood. Kim spares Chairman Joe but orders him to apologize to Minji. Desperate to live, Chairman Joe asks Kim to show mercy because they are both fathers with daughters. These are the exact words Kim used while kneeling before him at the school. The situation has completely reversed. Chairman Joe now experiences the humiliation and helplessness he once forced upon Kim. Minji orders Chairman Joe to take Hyeri to the police and surrender. After Kim leaves, the battered chairman stares at his back with intense hatred. He swears that he will return every humiliation many times over. Director Kang and the intelligence agents remain frozen around Jong's supposed mind for 4 hours. When it finally activates, they discover it was fake. The danger is not over. General Park arrives with an armed force and surrounds Kim's home. Before surrendering, Kim prepares a large meal for Minji. He takes out the expensive birthday gift he never managed to give her and finally celebrates her birthday. For the first time, he tells her the truth. Kim was originally a North Korean operative. He promised her mother that he would never return to dangerous work and would live only as Minji's father. However, they must now separate. They may see each other soon, or they may never meet again. After an emotional goodbye, Kim walks outside and surrenders to the armed force. Master Han and Jong are arrested as well. While Kim is imprisoned, Chairman Joe begins planning his revenge. He hires a lawyer to protect both himself and Hyeri. The lawyer recommends sending Hyeri abroad until the situation becomes safer. Chairman Joe then uses 6 golden balls to bribe a powerful official. The official accepts them and promises to personally control the police investigation. Goldtooth has a new set of golden teeth made. Number 76 also secretly recovers from his injuries and waits for another opportunity to act. Inside the detention facility, Kim is blindfolded. Several men enter and announce that orders have been issued to transfer him. They inject him with a sedative. When Kim wakes, he is no longer inside an ordinary South Korean intelligence building. He appears to have been secretly returned to North Korea. He is chained inside a dark room filled with instruments of torture. A cold voice tells him that he has been hiding for a very long time. The interrogators torture him relentlessly. They electrocute him, burn him with heated metal, and use nearly every method imaginable to force him to reveal South Korean intelligence. Kim refuses to speak. The lead interrogator becomes furious and grabs his hair. He says this is Kim's final opportunity to serve his homeland and erase the shame of being called a traitor. When Kim remains silent, the man removes his shirt, lifts the electrical weapon again, and threatens to use the same methods on Minji. The mention of his daughter changes everything. As the interrogator approaches, Kim suddenly attacks and bites deeply into his neck. He continues until the man collapses. Kim breaks free from the restraints and rushes through the door. Outside, he finds General Park and Director Kang waiting for him. Kim was never returned to North Korea. The tortured chamber was an elaborate test designed to determine whether he would betray South Korea under extreme pressure. Even after being nearly tortured to death, Kim revealed nothing. General Park announces that he has passed. They offer him another dangerous mission. If he completes it, Kim will receive his freedom and a completely new identity, allowing him to live openly with Minji. Kim asks for the assignment. A senior North Korean official has betrayed his government and requested political asylum from South Korea. Unfortunately, this is happening during sensitive high-level negotiations between the two countries. If North Korea discovers that the South is secretly protecting the defector, the relationship between the governments may collapse. Kim must protect the official until the negotiations end and the North Korean delegation leaves. Director Kang promises that the intelligence service will protect Minji. Although he still distrusts someone with Kim's past, he claims he would risk his life for any South Korean citizen. Kim accepts on one condition. Master Han and Jong must be released immediately. In their isolation cells, Master Han and Jong receive notice that they are being transferred. Intelligence officers fire. Tranquilizer darts through a small opening. The 2 aging men desperately jump around the narrow cells trying to avoid them. However, the darts continue coming until both collapse. When Master Han wakes, he and Jong are chained together in the middle of a remote wilderness. A key has deliberately been placed several feet away. Master Han immediately understands that Director Kang arranged this as revenge. He painfully rolls toward the key, frees them, and reaches a nearby store. When he asks where they are, he discovers they have been abandoned extremely far from the capital. The high-level North-South negotiations will take place inside a hotel owned by Chairman Jo. Both the deputy minister and Chairman Jo were humiliated by Kim and now want revenge. The deputy minister reveals that Kim was once an elite North Korean operative and is currently protecting an important defector. Chairman Jo realizes that the perfect opportunity to destroy him has arrived. Kim reaches the port to receive the North Korean official. The moment he sees the man's face, he freezes. The defector is Director Lee, Kim's former commander and the man responsible for the death of the original number 66. North Korean authorities recently discovered that the operation 20 years earlier failed because someone inside their own organization leaked information to South Korea. Director Lee was the traitor. He sacrificed his own agents to remove his superior and claim the leadership position. When officials attempted to arrest him, he attacked first, escaped, and requested protection from South Korea. Director Lee notices Kim's reaction and understands what he is thinking. He reminds Kim that the South Korean government willingly accepted him because he possesses information concerning North Korea's missile systems. Kim suppresses his hatred and transports him to the designated safe house. While bathing, Director Lee reveals a large wound across his waist. Before escaping North Korea, he cut open his own body and inserted a memory card containing missile information so no one could easily find it. Knowing Kim wants to kill him, Director Lee continuously provokes him. He boasts that he defected voluntarily, while Kim was merely captured and then begged the South Koreans to accept him. Kim refuses to respond and watches television coverage of the negotiations. The North Korean delegation arrives at Chairman Jo's hotel. Commander Ri learns that Director Lee has entered South Korea and may already be controlled by the government. Chairman Jo stops him and asks directly whether he is searching for Director Lee. He then reveals that the person protecting the defector is number 66. Commander Ri immediately invites Chairman Jo into a private room. Chairman Jo gives him 3 gold bars and asks for one favor. At the safe house, Kim, Sang, and Agent Choi notice unfamiliar vehicles entering the secured area. They immediately begin the evacuation plan. A large group of men in black storms into the residence but finds it empty. Seeing signs that people were there moments earlier, they realize their targets escaped and begin pursuing them. Not far away, Kim appears to be guiding Director Lee into a car. The attackers follow, unaware that this is a trap. The real Director Lee is still hidden inside a cabinet at the safe house. Sang is disguised as him inside the escaping vehicle. After Sang and Agent Choi lose the pursuers, she contacts Kim and prepares to report the attack so headquarters can assign another location. Kim stops her. The enemy found them far too quickly, meaning there is an informant inside the intelligence service. From that moment onward, he orders her not to reveal their position to anyone. When Agent Choi asks what Kim said, Sang has already begun, distrusting everyone and claims it was nothing important. The attackers report their failure to Commander Ri. Because the targets entered a civilian neighborhood, they could not continue openly. Commander Ri orders them to find Director Lee immediately. Chairman Jo argues that even after locating him, they cannot attack openly among ordinary citizens. He suggests making the political situation much larger. Following Chairman Jo's advice, Commander Ri raises the issue through official channels. The South Korean delegation's leader contacts General Park, and Director Kang receives orders to find Kim. Kim has taken Director Lee to Master Han's Taekwondo school. Seeing Master Han and Jong, Director Lee finally relaxes. He believes that Kim and his 2 friends together are strong enough to defeat an entire North Korean force. Jong explains that General Park contacted them and asked for help with the mission, but Master Han refused. Kim says refusing was the correct choice. He plans to move Director Lee after dark and does not want his friends becoming involved again. Before they can even order food, Director Kang arrives with a large tactical force and surrounds the school. He announces that Director Lee will be returned to North Korea. Kim demands an explanation. Director Kang claims he is merely following orders to arrest dangerous communists. He opposed protecting Director Lee from the beginning and disagreed with the government's treatment of Kim. He then displays a photograph of Minji inside intelligence headquarters and reminds Kim who currently controls his daughter's safety. The agents remove Kim's weapon. Chairman Jo's political strategy is then revealed. Before the negotiations officially began, Commander Ri confronted the South Korean delegation with proof that Director Lee was inside the country and that number 66 was protecting him. He threatened to cancel the talks and create a major diplomatic crisis unless both men were surrendered. South Korea's representatives called General Park and ordered him to comply. General Park has his own calculation. Surrendering Kim and Director Lee solves the political problem. He also believes Kim will do anything necessary to survive for Minji. Once Kim escapes, Everything he does can be described as the independent action of a former North Korean operative rather than an official South Korean operation. Director Kong arrests both men at Master Han's school and hands them to the North Korean agents. The North Koreans immediately shoot Director Lee and then deliver Kim to Chairman Jo. After enduring repeated humiliation, Chairman Jo finally believes he has won. He strikes Kim across the head with a handgun. He considers shooting him immediately but decides death would be too merciful. He orders his men to take Kim somewhere private so he can be tortured slowly. The moment one of them grabs him, Kim disarms the man. Jeong arrives at the same time and helps defeat Chairman Jo's guards. Chairman Jo realizes the situation has turned and attempts to escape by car, but Master Han captures him. The three friends reunite. Kim believes Director Lee cannot truly be dead because North Korea needs information from him. He questions Chairman Jo about where Director Lee was taken. Chairman Jo offers a deal. If they spare his life, he will help them locate the defector. They take Chairman Jo to meet Sang and Agent Choi, who have been monitoring the hotel with drones. Sang reports seeing a North Korean operative carry a huge bag into a hotel suite. Director Lee may be inside. South Korean intelligence agents are guarding parts of the hotel and can enter employee areas such as the kitchens and laundry rooms, but the North Korean team is watching them closely. Commander Ri is staying on the 5th floor, while the North Koreans establish their own surveillance room on the 4th. Rescuing Director Lee through such heavy security appears almost impossible. Kim warns Chairman Jo that he will survive only if Director Lee is rescued. He demands another entrance. Chairman Jo admits there is a secret emergency passage leading directly to his private office. It has no cameras and can be opened with his access card. Kim immediately creates a plan. The North Korean team disabled the hotel's original cameras and now controls its own system from the 4th floor surveillance room. Therefore, Kim's team must seize that. Room first. Kim will rescue Director Lee. Master Han and Jong will draw the North Korean agents away and create an escape route. Agent Choi will disguise himself as a hotel laundry worker, hide Director Lee inside a laundry cart, and drive him out through the loading area. The laundry vehicle has only 10 minutes before it must leave, meaning the entire operation must be completed within that time. Meanwhile, the large bag is opened in front of Commander Rai. Director Lee is alive and unharmed. Before recording his apparent execution, the agents placed a bulletproof vest beneath his clothing. The shooting video was created only to deceive their own government. Kim's group enters the hotel through Chairman Jo's secret passage and reaches his private office. After obtaining the building plans, Kim assigns every role. Chairman Jo secretly checks his phone and smiles at a message he has received. Before beginning, the group ties him up and overpowers 2 hotel employees. Jong and Sang put on service uniforms and push a food cart toward the surveillance room. Master Han is hidden inside it. Agent Choi parks the laundry vehicle at the extraction point. The 10-minute countdown begins. Sang rings the surveillance room's bell and claims she is delivering food. The moment the door opens, she and Jong attack. Master Han rolls out of the cart, and together they defeat every agent inside. Using the camera system, they locate the room holding Director Lee and send the information to Kim. Kim descends from the roof by rope and lands on the room's balcony. Inside, Commander Ri has already dismissed the other agents and is questioning Director Lee privately. He explains that he does not care about missile information. He knows Director Lee converted $8 million in government political funds into casino chips and stored them inside a private casino vault. He wants the vault's password card for himself. Commander Ri promises to secretly protect Director Lee and help him reach a third country if he hands over the card. Director Lee laughs. He expected someone to pursue the money and hid the card before coming to South Korea. Kim enters, incapacitates Commander Rai, and retrieves Director Lee. Only 5 minutes remain. To distract the North Korean agents, Jong and Master Han deliberately walk into the corridor and even argue about how to divide the opponents between them. Sang remains inside the surveillance room and searches for the safest route from Kim's position to the laundry area. A North Korean commander contacts the room. When no one answers, he realizes something is wrong. Sang warns Kim. He orders her to escape immediately and says he will find his own route. She enters an elevator moments before the agents reach the room. The North Korean commander sees corrupted surveillance feeds, orders the system restored, and activates a signal jammer. A violent electrical noise fills everyone's earpieces. Kim and his friends lose communication and must continue using only the original plan. Chairman Jo begins freeing himself inside the office. He shakes his body until a lighter falls from his pocket, opens the flame, and slowly burns through the ropes despite scorching his own skin. Unaware that Chairman Jo is free, Kim continues moving Director Lee through the hotel. He places nearly invisible steel wires across the corridors, catching the agents pursuing them. Jong and Master Han defeat group after group. Jong voluntarily walks into an elevator filled with North Korean operatives, knowing the narrow space will allow him to finish them quickly. The entire hotel suddenly loses power. The North Korean commander restored the cameras, saw his team being defeated across the building, and cut the electricity in an attempt to trap Kim's group in the darkness. After regaining consciousness, Commander Ri feels humiliated and orders every operative into action. Their new instruction is to kill both Kim and Director Lee at any cost. Kim eventually reaches the laundry area with Director Lee, but the 10-minute deadline has passed. Agent Choi waited as long as possible. When hotel security became suspicious, he had no choice but to drive away to protect his cover. With the extraction vehicle gone, North Korean agents begin firing toward Kim and Director Lee. They have no communication and no transportation, leaving them trapped. Jong is still battling agents. Inside the elevator, Master Han encounters the strongest opponent in the building. The North Korean commander once competed in the same Olympic Games as him as a wrestler. Knowing Master Han's greatest weapon is his kicking ability, the wrestler traps him inside a narrow dishwashing room where there is almost no space to use his legs. He repeatedly attacks Master Han's strongest leg until it is nearly useless. Master Han endures the pain, grabs nearby plates, and smashes them against the wrestler's head until he finally wins. Master Han and Jong return to Chairman Zhou's office and discover that he has escaped his restraints. Before they can attack, Chairman Zhou displays a video showing Jong's daughter and Master Han's son being held hostage. Jong loses control and grabs him by the collar. Chairman Zhou threatens the children, forcing both men to obey. At the same time, Sang reaches Kim and Director Lee. After fighting through the attackers, the three escape using a hotel vehicle. Number 76 suddenly blocks the road and points his gun at Director Lee, determined to avenge his brother. Kim understands his hatred but stands in front of Director Lee. He explains that he must protect this enemy because completing the mission is the only way to protect Minji. He asks Number 76 to let Director Lee live for now and promises there will be another opportunity. Number 76 chooses to trust him and lowers the gun. The three enter Agent Choi's laundry vehicle and escape the hotel. As he drives through security, Agent Choi innocently asks whether everything is safe because he heard gunfire. The guards assure him there is no danger and allow him to leave. Kim prepares to take Director Lee to the hospital when Master Han calls. He says only, "I'm sorry." Kim immediately knows something is wrong. He leaves Director Lee with Sang and Agent Choi and drives alone to Chairman Zhou's property. There, he finds two children tied up beside a fighting arena surrounded by metal fencing. Master Han and Jong are inside. Chairman Zhou orders them to kill Kim or watch their children die. They cannot choose between their children and the man they consider a brother. Chairman Zhou fires toward the children. The shot contains no bullet, but the sound terrifies everyone. He warns that the next one will be real. Kim apologizes for dragging his friends into his problems. To save the children, he attacks Master Han and Jong first, forcing them to fight back. They reluctantly strike him. After several rounds, Kim is covered in blood and barely able to stand against the metal fence. Chairman Zhou approaches and mocks him, saying he will die without ever seeing Minji again. He does not realize that the fight has been part of a plan. During the exchange, Kim secretly signaled his friends. Every time they hit him, they deliberately drove his body against the same section of fencing, gradually weakening it. When Chairman Zhou comes close enough, Kim grabs him by the neck. Master Han and Jong attack the damaged fence together. It collapses directly onto Chairman Zhou and traps him underneath. They rush to the children and confirm that both are unharmed. Kim leaves the remaining situation to his friends because he still has another task. To keep the children safe, Master Han and Jong take them to the workplace of Jong's wife, who serves as a military security commander. She becomes furious. She cannot understand why they brought children into a military workplace and scolds her husband for becoming involved in Kim's problems yet again. Both men explain that Kim did not force them to do anything. They chose to stand beside their friend. Jong's wife finally agrees to protect the children while they leave. Kim disguises himself as a doctor and enters the hospital. He injects Director Lee with a sedative and wheels him out while he is unconscious. General Park has already extracted all the missile information from Director Lee. In exchange, Director Lee requested safe passage to Macau. General Park appeared to agree but had no intention of protecting someone who was no longer useful. Kim gives the unconscious Director Lee to Number 76 and tells him that the man's fate is now entirely his decision. Number 76 wishes Kim and Minji a peaceful future. Kim again reminds him that he must survive no matter what happens. When Director Lee wakes, he finds himself lying on a beach. At first, he believes he has safely reached Macau. Then he realizes that the memory card hidden inside his waist has been removed. He looks ahead and sees North Korean propaganda signs. He has been returned to North Korea. As soldiers rush toward him, the terrified traitor runs into the sea and attempts to escape through the water. The negotiations between North and South Korea eventually succeed. The South Korean Prime Minister warns Commander Ri that his people have caused enough trouble inside the country. To avoid humiliation, Commander Ri orders his government to announce that Director Lee and Number 66 were both eliminated. If the public discovered they escaped after being handed over, the North Korean delegation would appear incompetent. They do not know that before Director Lee was taken, South Korean intelligence had already extracted vital military information. Kim then contacts an extremely wealthy and influential acquaintance. He asks him to completely destroy Chairman Joe's construction company and promises to complete any future assignment in return. Yoha Group collapses under investigations involving corruption, bribery, and illegal business practices. Every government official who worked with Chairman Joe is arrested. Hyori, who was sent abroad, is also captured, and the truth about what she did to Minji becomes public. Chairman Joe, badly injured and humiliated, is pushed before a crowd of reporters. Goldtooth suddenly removes his disguise from among the journalists and attacks the man responsible for destroying his life. After completing his final mission, Kim visits General Park. General Park tells him that Number 66 must officially die. The government announces that Kim's body has been found. Minji later visits the memorial where both of her parents are supposedly resting. As she prepares to leave, Kim walks toward her with his arms open. She is not entirely surprised. Sang secretly told her that Kim's death was staged, and she has been waiting for this moment. Still, she cries because she was genuinely afraid she might never see him again. Under Director Kang's arrangements, Kim and Minji receive completely new identities. Despite his cold behavior, Director Kang gives Minji a hair clip as a gift representing her new beginning. Agent Choi gives Kim a suit and says he hopes never to see him inside an intelligence facility again. Sang, who has become Minji's friend, helps her return to school and complete the transfer process. Kim and Minji then move into a new home under their new names. Master Han and Jong return to their ordinary routines but arrive on moving day to help. Jong still wears his military-style clothing. Master Han, who normally lives in his martial arts uniform, surprises everyone by wearing an elegant suit, giving Jong plenty of material to mock him. After helping Kim and Minji settle into the new house, the three friends spend time together in the city. They enter an eyeglass shop, try on pair after pair, and leave without buying anything. Walking down the street, they joke that they have become nothing more than ordinary middle-aged men wearing glasses again. No stranger who sees them could imagine how many times they escaped death or what they survived together. Only the three of them understand how difficult and precious it is to live quietly, appear completely ordinary, and simply be middle-aged men wearing glasses. And with that, Kim and Minji finally begin their new life together. But after Kim receives another secret mission, it seems his dangerous journey may not be over yet. Do you think this story deserves a second season? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more movie and drama recaps.